Hello, hello, hello. Greetings, 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 Zimbabwe. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Of course, depending on the time that you are watching this podcast. My name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor. It is my pleasure to welcome you to ZEE. It stands for Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. Yes, you got that right. Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. And our payoff line is Connect, Inspire, and Transform, which is KIT. Connect, Inspire, and Transform. This is our latest innovation in the market, of course. But before I proceed to tell you why I'm so excited, let us spare a few moments to look at our environment. Just hang in there. Good day. Thank you very much for joining me on this platform. My name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor. Before we proceed with today's show, why don't we commit just a few seconds to look into the crucial importance of our environment? We prioritize entrepreneurship with sustainability. So please just hang in there, we'll soon be done. Indeed, our environment is of paramount importance. Whatever you do as an entrepreneur in agriculture, mining, construction, transport, retail, trading, wholesaling, all services, we encourage you to practice entrepreneurship with sustainability and pass on this environment in good steps to future generations for better use. That's exactly what we do with all our brands: VCCI, EIZ, SBGZ, SFS, and SBGA. Just marvel at the fluffy clouds on high, the beautiful waterfalls, and of course the still waters, the amazing duck swimming across the land, the cattle and the deer grazing. Above is the beautiful scenic Xmas Pass in Mutare, Manicaland, Zimbabwe. My name is Dr. Charlie. I want to encourage you to avoid cutting trees and polluting our cities, but practice entrepreneurship with sustainability. Thank you for listening and enjoy your show. Right, welcome back, welcome back. Like I said, my name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor, and welcome to Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators, where we connect, inspire, and transform. I'm really excited today as we continue to demonstrate that as far as we are concerned here at EIZ, which is Entrepreneurship Institute of Zimbabwe, it is innovation always. We never stop to be creative and innovative. And that's why we are introducing in our market the first of its kind Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. Connect, inspire, and transform. I'm sure you're wondering, what is this ZEE all about? Well, as you can see there, Our purpose is to network, share knowledge and experiences so as to advance entrepreneurship and enterprise education in Zimbabwe. A little bit of some background there. Globally, entrepreneurship is widely recognized as a vital engine that drives socio-economic development. To this effect, micro, small, and medium enterprises are also observed to be champions of entrepreneurship and to actually account for much of the creativity and innovation in our economies. As a result, traditionally, entrepreneurship has been thought to be an inborn thing. In other words, the theory was entrepreneurs are born. This means that if you don't have these personality traits to be an entrepreneur, then tough luck, you can never be an entrepreneur. But this traditional historic theory has long been debunked. In other words, we now are in the period or era where evidence actually showed that entrepreneurship is not just inborn. Of course, we do have some personality traits, but actually, entrepreneurship is largely taught. In other words, anybody, anyone, including yourself and myself, anyone, anybody, anywhere, anytime can become entrepreneurial for as long as they are willing, they are have the competence, resources, they are able to create or discover an opportunity. For as long as those things are there, any one of us can become entrepreneurial. And this is why globally, in our tertiary education institutions, colleges, universities, entrepreneurship is actually a very, very important module within college and university degree or diploma programs. In Zimbabwe, let us come closer home. In Zimbabwe, we are now in several years since our Ministry of Higher and Tertiary Education, Science, Innovation and Technology Development has promulgated or come up with Education 5.0. Yes, Education 5.0 seeks to ensure that entrepreneurship is central, okay, in all our tertiary education learning. To this effect, the guidance is that when our college and university students graduate, they should have accessed knowledge that will help them to start their new businesses. Okay? And this is why, for many of our universities, if you check out, entrepreneurship is now actually a university wide module which is studied by every student, just like we know that principles of management is a university wide, communication is a university wide, and so entrepreneurship has become the latest university wide module or course in most of our universities. And this implies that we have quite a number of our lecturers who are teaching or who are lecturing entrepreneurship. But guess what? As we continue to strive towards Vision 2030 for Zimbabwe, that is towards a prosperous upper middle income economy, one of the pivotal issues to take place is for colleges and universities themselves to be creative so that they come up with new ventures. These are new ventures founded and owned by the tertiary education institutions, leading to what we can call university spin offs. We are beginning to see quite a lot of activity along these areas where universities, colleges are owning farms and they are being involved in a number of entrepreneurial ventures. But here's another area. We are now talking about the students themselves. To what extent are our college and university students actually being creative and coming up with entrepreneurial opportunities by way of creativity or discovering them and starting new ventures, even much more, doing this whilst they are still at college? I want to objectively think that it's not just thinking from my own surface observation, not many of our tertiary education institutions are actually producing students who are founding their businesses while still at college. So, this is the background that I thought it is very important for you to understand why we are talking about Zimbabwe entrepreneurship educators. So, the whole purpose of Zimbabwe entrepreneurship educators is to say, let us come together, let us come together, let us reason together, let us discuss, okay? Let us converge, let us get involved in engaged scholarship, share knowledge and experiences about entrepreneurship education. What is the state of entrepreneurship education in our colleges, in our universities? Okay, to what extent are Western models and frameworks of entrepreneurship education applicable in Zimbabwe vis-a-vis our own unique culture as Zimbabweans? I know we talk about heritage-based education. So we are saying on one hand, we've got the Western models and theoretical frameworks of entrepreneurship education, the socialization of entrepreneurship, the many theories of entrepreneurship, and we are also saying we are Zimbabweans. So, to what extent is this applying? So, we would want to share these experiences. I don't want to mention names of colleges and universities, but we all know them. But what we are saying, you are coming from college A, college B, college C, university K, university J. The whole idea is, how are you approaching entrepreneurship education at your college or at your university? Which models, which frameworks, what are the opportunities, what are the challenges? To what extent have you gone in as far as making strides to achieve and accomplish Education 5.0 towards Zimbabwe becoming a prosperous upper middle class economy by 2030? So we want to share all these experience, and this is why we have Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators. Now, you can become a member. For us to have this network, we need those that can come aboard and become members. And these are the membership categories there. There's an individual membership category which is open to academic professional. It doesn't matter if you have just graduated with your PhD, you are still very much a junior lecturer, or you are now a senior lecturer, or you are now an associate professor, assistant professor, or you are a seasoned full-time professor. What we are saying is you can become a member of Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators as an academic professional, and the membership fee there is quite affordable. You are looking at just $3 per month, which is $36 per year. This is also the membership fee for our industrial professionals, because entrepreneurship, remember, is not a monopoly of entrepreneurship educators. Entrepreneurship is also exercised by our colleagues in industry, in the private sector. That's why we teach about corporate entrepreneurship or intrapreneurship. So we want to bridge the theory practice gap. So we also have those in the private sector, and that's why it is Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators, but the entrepreneurship also involves enterprise education. And enterprise is all about a business venture. So, industrial professionals, you can become a member by paying $36 per year. Then, the academic institution, private sector companies, NGOs, all of you guys, it's $500 per year. And you can see to my right side there the QR code, and above you are actually written individuals apply here, organizations apply here. So I want to encourage you to become members of ZEE. And as I come to a close, soon coming are conferences. So you find Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators is simply there to promote engaged scholarship, so that we come together, okay, and we put all the issues about entrepreneurship on the table, okay, or on the smart board, okay, and then we say, right, let us unravel, let us unpack, let us explore how can we do better. In other words, we begin to engage these critical questions about what, why, where, who, for who, how, and so what questions in as far as entrepreneurship and enterprise education is concerned, so that we can drive our entrepreneurship agenda much more effective and successfully in Zimbabwe. So soon coming is the first ZEC conference, Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators Conference, right? It's going to be on the 8th to the 10th of April next year. Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators Conference, the first of its kind, is going to be running from the 8th to the 10th of April next year. So we are telling you, whilst there is still much time, and the theme there is exploring entrepreneurship and innovation in Zimbabwe towards Vision 2030. So as entrepreneurship educators, what are we doing in our different spheres of workplaces, whether at college or at university? What are we doing so that we can leverage on entrepreneurship and enterprise education to drive Vision 2030? Okay, so I want to encourage you. You are going to see a link below that is also going to give you more details about this conference. But I thought I needed to let you know that we will be rolling out the first ZEC conference, the 8th to the 10th of April 2026, and more details to come. I've come to the conclusion of my campaign here and just letting you know this exciting news. I want to believe you found this to be really exciting. Now, here are the contact details. The contact details, as you can see below, the email address zee@sbgazim.com. zee@sbgazim.com. Our mobile number on WhatsApp +263 7733533800. +263 7733533800, and our website is www.sbgazim.com. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor. I want to believe you found this video very informative and quite interesting, especially if you are interested in entrepreneurship and enterprise education, as well, of course, the subsequent innovation. Guys, before I go, how about if you give me feedback? Please put your comments below. I really value your feedback. And of course, share this video with all your colleagues and networks. And above all, like this channel. When you do that, you help us to grow, and therefore please click the subscriber button so that you'll be the first to get notified each time we release podcasts like this. With that said, my name is Dr. Charlie, TSBD, the Small Business Doctor. Bye. I look forward to welcome you aboard Zimbabwe Entrepreneurship Educators, where we connect, inspire, and transform. Bye.